We are live.
Hello, fellas. Today we got a guest. How about you introduce yourself?
My name is Owen Colgan. I'm 36. I've got a great sense of humor. And I'm a professional actor.
Well,
An
lovely to
absolute
have you
legend.
on the podcast, Owen.
Sorry?
Lovely to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me on. Much appreciated. By the way, when I said I've got a great sense of humor, that I was saying I like laughing at stuff. That's what I meant by that. Just to clear that up right off the bat. I don't want people turning off straight away going, this lad's fucking well into himself.
Of course not, yeah.
So obviously the way we came across you was through the Hardy books. I think that's how most people found you.
Right.
So what was it like being in that originally?
Being in the Hardy books originally was, there was no real long-term plan. It was just more so we were thinking we'll do a bit of filming this weekend, and if it's funny, we can show it to people, maybe get a career out of it. But we weren't really thinking about anything from RT or anywhere in Hollywood.
But eventually he's actually got there.
Well, we got to RT, but we didn't get to Hollywood. But the more you look into Hollywood, the more you see the likes of the dodgy boys that are running the gaff. You wonder,
dodgy stuff.
Yeah, was it even worth dreaming about going there in the first place? You know, don't get me wrong, I'd love to be in a movie with Nicolas Cage and the boys, but I don't know.
Cage and the boys.
I don't know if it's a place. It's a lot of dodgy fuckers over there, it seems.
Yeah, it is fair fucked out there now underground.
Don't get me wrong, like I wouldn't refuse if Tom Cruise comes to the house tomorrow with a script for Mission Impossible 12, I'll do it.
Yeah, I think we would all be in the same boat there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So when we talked to French Toast and Stephen Cowboy Kelly, they said something about you particularly that there's not a man in Ireland who can write for you. Like you came up with all your own stuff.
Like such a modern compliment to give another man.
You actually talk like that.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I rushed. I wish they'd said I was tough or strong or good with women, but like that's a shy compliment, lads.
Man, no. They were saying that after all that, that you're good with writing. All they were like, jeez, yeah, and, the women love him and everything,
Jeez, he's a hound.
Oh, shut up with you. But I'll tell you though,
schooling for the point.
I'm like so careful when I get going. But it was the same really for all the boys. I think the main thing with the Hardy books is that when any of us gave our best lines, it was lines that we made up ourselves. So I think it was the same for all the other characters that were in the show as well. But it was just because we were all friends in a very comfortable environment, and we got to do maybe 20 takes of the same scene. That's kind of why, there was some beautiful parts in it. Like there's a few cringy parts in the RT days that are kind of hard to look at, but that's because we were more so looking at scripts that were given to us as opposed to just doing like kind of getting the character out of your own personality. So it's the same. I think it's the same for the other boys though. When they were on form, they were flying it. Especially French Toast. He's a great man for, like, if you walk into French Toast's kitchen there in Swinford, he's got cups of tea for you and biscuits and stories to tell you. And then he'll say to you, go on upstairs to the back.
To tell us, man.
The first thing he said to us when we got him on was that we create bone structure.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy we were dealing with.
The podcast, or how did he see you?
No, we were on the podcast, yeah.
With a podcast with us.
Did you meet up?
No,
Oh, geez,
no,
we did this. We Skyped him.
Okay, I was going to say, how come you didn't meet me?
Shame now that we didn't push it up.
That's French Toast's weapon of choice, compliments. He likes to give men compliments.
Yeah, he gave one compliment that I'll never forget.
Oh,
said to your one at RTE, I say you could suck the colour out of a marble.
Yes, he did. We were on the Brendan O'Connor show once, and we were in the green room after, and we were all kind of relaxed because we, like when we went onto TV, we were very nervous, so we just kind of drank our way through the nerves, the Dutch courage, and all that stuff. But then when we went back in the green room after, there was some woman there, French Toast was trying to flirt with her, and flirting in Mayo would be along the lines of saying something like, "I'd say you took the colour out of a marble." And we got ushered into a taxi then. We had to leave RT.
oh my god.
Probably one of the many nails in the coffin, but I think RT, the head of RT, the manager lad, he didn't like that anyways. But Sure.
Jeez, like compliment his wife, man, and he take you off television. Honest to God.
Compliments,
sound
man.
like-
Fuck's sake.
Exactly. You know, it's actually a beautiful compliment when you think about it, because he's kind of complimenting her. I'm kind of for myself here, lads. Nothing wrong with being good at stuff jobs, is what I'm trying to say.
You fucking can't take
That's fair.
can't take a good compliment now. Like Jesus.
Exactly. Like French toast is unreal in bed. It's unbelievable. He's one of my best friends in bed when it comes to shagging.
From word of mouth or experience?
Or just from watching in the corner. Tinder dates would be up to awful stuff these days.
Jeez, no, the whole meet the boys, though, we'd all be there. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, proper
The whole
bond.
cast is there. Mike and the boys.
Mike could be over the corner sketching away. Throwing pictures of French toast naked arse bobbing up and down. Christ, I don't know where this is going. But what I'm trying to say is, he didn't mean any badness by what he said to that lady in RT. And sure, look at, we've all said things in the past that we're not proud of.
Of course.
You hardly had any moments like that, did you?
I had plenty, but I thankfully I got away with them, I think. You'd never know nowadays with all the cameras that are on.
Want to jinx it?
Yeah.
Want to jinx it? No, but like sometimes I'd look at the Hardy books and I'd think, because the way they're pulling all the other TV shows that are up there on. I can see what you're searching by the way there, lads. You can see. Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool. The whole thing here, like, it's cool, isn't it?
Oh, brilliant! Very interactive.
I put little death threats in the search bar sometimes, telling people to subscribe or like take off their arms or something.
Subscribe, you're gonna fucking kill them.
Willie's up them. Are you all in the same room there? Are you?
Oh God, no.
No.
We all using different accounts.
So how do
Two
you not
boys are
talk
up
over each
awfully
other?
now, and I'm in Waterford at the moment.
Oh, right, very good. Waterford's a nice spot.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice little bay there area. Nice place to drive the car up and down, waving at people. Do you ever drive around Waterford just waving at people?
Ah, jeez, man, I used to live there. The whole time you'd just be walking around the place and people, funny, wouldn't even know them, man. They'd just wave at you.
Yeah.
And Tremore's a nice old spot now.
Tremore's a nice spot too. Yeah, it's a good spot for not really a good spot for waving. It's a good spot for accepting a wave.
Exactly, yeah.
I said no. You want to go for Dublin to be going for the waves, like.
Oh, you'd be flat out waving. You wouldn't get any work done.
So you can see there on Thomas's screen, like, this is the beast of a man we're dealing with today.
Yeah. I don't know what to think when I do see those Google pictures of myself, because I look very confused in every single one of them.
Yeah.
And if you see
the
behind
first
me,
picture, you look like you're about to fucking kill someone in the first picture.
The first picture, yeah, because I think I was really in character in the first picture, and then the rest of it's kind of like you can kind of see what's going on behind the eyes. Not a whole lot. But I'm a nice guy.
You are. So you got your own wee show there recently. They threw you a few bob.
Under the front door.
Around the fire.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was it
That was
class?
good. Well, myself and my missus, would you believe, shot an out pilot. Because I seen people do sketches online. I thought, fuck it, I need to start doing some myself. So I wrote this bit of a sketch where I was talking to a bird specialist. So I went on to extras.ie. It's like a acting website online.
Movieextras.ie.
Movieextras.ie, that's the one, yeah. And then
I'm on that, yeah.
I just looked through it and I seen that there was this owl lad who was looking for work. He's about 65 or something from up the north there. So he came over to the house in Dublin and he came into my bedroom and he was like, this looks a bit dodgy. But like, it wasn't sexual or anything like that. But I just interviewed him for the pilot, talking about crows, and he just kept telling me different facts about birds, which I kept ignoring. And then a friend of mine sent the pilot into RT, into the RT player kind of branch of RT, and then they said, oh yeah, sure, we might make a few episodes out of that. But there was a lot of back and forth first, a lot of like writing scripts, and they were like, we don't really understand that bit, or we don't get that bit. So there's a lot of back and forth when it comes to getting something onto television. And even then, it's kind of like, it's not exactly what you had in mind.
Yeah.
The lads, Cowboy and French Toast, they were telling us RTE, they did a lot of editing, and like you could really make up a whole season. They told us, like, there's one thing they told us was that
Cowboy died.
Cowboy's funeral. Yeah, no, he didn't die. He had a funeral for him.
He was
going to the States.
Right.
I was completely cut off.
Right, Jay. It was a spiritual funeral, you see. He was lying across he was lying across the pool table, and we were all like whispering like our last words into his ear. And tell you one thing, the crack we had, because back in them days, in the YouTube days, we were just drinking in the pub anyways, because there was no one kind of telling us not to be drinking. So we'd be a bit nervous and we'd drink, and then it'd turn into a session. And then sure, when you're with your mates and you're having a session and someone's recording it, you're bound to get some golden moments. And definitely one of the golden moments was having Cowboy on the pool table, and we were kissing his forehead and touching him. We had our hands all over him.
Oh, that's fucking mad now, like.
Yeah, but no, it was good fun. But there was loads of episodes that never seen the light of day. But you kind of see, the thing is with RT is you have to sort of, if they're paying the budgets and everything like that, you kind of have to do it the way they half want it at least. But that's the price you pay, I suppose, when you get onto TV. That whatever idea you have in your head, it's going to be changed as soon as you start sharing it with someone. So
and that's one thing the lads actually said. And they said that they wish they left or they kept the YouTube alive, because at least they could have retreated back to that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, you see. But you know, when you're younger, like, and someone says to you, you can be on TV, you're going, well, I don't think it's as big a deal now because everyone has the internet pages and social media pages. But when we were growing up, like, everyone in our town idolized RTE, and they thought that, especially my family, they were like, if you make it onto TV, we'll accept you as a son.
Jesus Christ.
Well, no, they didn't have that. My family are lovely. I just made that up too. Bit of drama. But it was a big thing as well to get onto RT. So then when we got onto it, you know, my parents were like, no, now, like, you know, that's your first real job, son.
35 years of age, you've finally done it.
Finally. Yeah, exactly. So, and down at my parents' house as well, they have pictures of all the family who've graduated from college. And then there's just a picture of me in the middle as a baby. I had no scroll to give them.
Even with all the censorship and stuff, it seems like you still had a lot of fun filming. And I was just wondering, what do you think is like your favorite thing that you filmed while you were doing Hardy Books, whether it be from the TV series, the YouTube, or the film even?
I know what you're saying. Yeah. Tell you, we had filmed nearly the full episode. You know the time we're up the woods.
Yeah.
I don't know what that.
Which one? Which one?
It was up there, and the boo was into the fire, and there's like hipsters up in the woods and
around.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Well, that was during the summertime, and the weather was nice, and we'd already finished all weekend filming, and then we were like, this is just going to be the final scene, so just try not to get too drunk while we're filming, and then then you can do whatever you want after that. So then I think it was we're filming from around 5 till maybe 8, and then they just turned off the cameras because they're like, yeah, you know what, that's enough of that crack. Let's go drinking. And then I think we went back out to the cottage and we had a good skip a drink, but it was great fun, a great bond up as well.
You actually live in that cottage.
You know the Man United days of Mark Hughes and the boys.
Yeah.
But like those days where they'd all go on the beer after a game. Sorry about that analogy, guys. That was shocking.
No,
don't worry.
Please delete that bit.
No, that's the thing about this podcast. It's unfiltered. It's just raw. We don't edit a fucking thing. 37 episodes now. Not one thing's been taken
pure
out.
raw. That's the way to do it.
Pure raw.
Something to
37 days in a row.
That's brilliant. Yeah, fair play. This is your 37 podcast. How are you enjoying it?
Ah, geez, yeah, it's great crap.
It's fucking deadly.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Everything except for the host.
Get to talk to, like.
Yeah.
Like the amount of characters you meet, and even people that you've seen on telly that you've just watched for fucking years, like.
Yeah.
And then you finally get to talk to them and have a chat. It's
the
phenomenal.
Well.
Like.
I'd sit there with the lads and be watching Hardy Books together. And then I say to them, like, oh yeah, I'm getting Owen on tomorrow. What?
Yeah.
The reactions, I guess.
My brother's in the fucking room there now watching it.
Right, I hope he's paying for the cunt. Some lads say to me, well, not some lad, but different lads in Dublin be like, what are you doing in Dublin? And I was like, geez, I'm just up here trying to do a bit of work. But he couldn't get over that I would have been in Dublin. But the whole Irish celebrity thing is a bit funny anyways, because the biggest celebrity in Ireland would probably be Ray D'Arcy, would it? Mikey Graham.
I'd say maybe the Gleasons. I don't know.
It depends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Gleasons.
for different ages, it's different. Like,
True.
it's like, people that know fucking Gay Byrne or Ryan Tuberty, Liam Neeson, stuff like
Liam
that.
Neeson's 1.93. Jesus, a tall lad.
Fucking Brad Pitt. What?
Is Brad Pitt
No,
Irish?
I don't think he's not. He's not Irish.
Probably his Irish
If
roots.
you look,
Half
if you
Irish
look through
or some
that,
shite.
you'll find Robert De Niro's in there as well. He's Italian.
He's got Irish blood, though, is he?
Oh yeah, there he is.
There he is.
I think his old lady worked in a chipper in Monaghan.
Came to visit for a week and then claimed he's Irish.
Exactly, yeah.
That's what most people do.
If it
Story
works,
of the,
they seem to do that all the time in America. They seem to be mad into their Irish roots.
Yeah, you fucking walk over there, you mention that you're Irish, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm 1/5 Irish, actually. And you're like, fuck off, man.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like,
Wait,
okay, I
Ant's
didn't
dog is
ask.
Irish, so technically.
Yeah.
The dog's an Irish breed, so he is.
Fucking Joe Swash is an Irish anyway. Look at the fucking
No, he's not. I was just looking at it there.
Del
Joe
Sol,
Swash
that
is
lad.
fucking Irish. Kenneth
Fucking whole
Branagh.
piece of Irish, man.
Kenneth Branagh isn't Irish, is he? Thought he was always English.
Jesus.
Robert De Niro, man, he did the Irishman, and so they christened him Irish, and that's why he's here.
Yeah.
He's a blob.
Honorary member.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Obviously, like you have a lot of followers on social media compared to the other books. Like your Owen Colgan fitness thing is number one, it's hilarious.
Thank
Number
you.
two, it's huge. I think my favorite thing was the Michael D. Higgins, and the D standard for something like deltoids.
Oh,
Deadlift.
yeah. Deadlift. Yeah, dead earth. Yeah. I was trying to think
Yeah, that
of
got me
something
too
related
good.
to creatine, but I couldn't. Oh, thanks very much. Cheers. But have you seen Michael D with his top off?
No.
He's shredded. He's got his body his body fat index ratio down to 0.5%. So he's
Jesus,
he knows something we don't know.
Beast of a man.
fucking beast of a man.
But no, thanks very much.
Beast
Yeah,
of a
sure.
man.
Well, it's the Hardy books that kind of got us all going, anyways. So we're all kind of trying to get going. Like we're all trying to paddle our own canoe to sort of try to crack the industry or try to keep a career going in it. Because there's so many people at it that it's just, and like people doing podcasts, people doing videos, people doing sketches, TikTok,
Oh yeah.
YouTube. There's so much going on now that it seems like it'd be silly for us not to continue and maybe do something on the internet.
Yeah, even now, like,
Yeah.
I think there's been a resurgence now since, Hardy Books was always big, but then they put it on Netflix, and now everyone's stuck inside. Fucking everyone's watching Hardy Books.
Yeah,
honestly.
it seems to kind of come around, and it goes around in circles where people kind of forget about it, and then it becomes popular again. But nostalgia is a great old thing too, because
Oh, it is, yeah.
it's a good like way to look back at old Ireland and kind of see, even though it was daft, a lot of the stuff that we were doing in the show was kind of semi-real as well, like the book fast and the hash and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
As I said to the lads when they were on, like, that's really relatable for where we're from, because Offaly's a kip, right? And the town I live in is the least employed town in all of Ireland, and then the two lads are from a village right beside it. That's basically the same in terms of villages.
Yeah, but you know what though? You were saying before the podcast, then you were right that like there's a lot of nice nature down there. I forget which one of you lads was saying it, but
Oh yeah, me. I live in the Bog of Allen. Like,
it's beautiful. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been to the Bog of Allen. I don't like. Does Allen have? Who's Allen?
Oh, geez, he fair sound now, and he'll even let you on the bog, like,
Fucking sound old cunt.
And he'll even, if you're lucky, man, he'll let you take a sod of turf on the way as well. Like, he's not,
That's
not bad.
sound now, like.
not
maybe-
Alan
He let us,
Queen,
he
is
let
it?
us
Man.
film a bit of a fucking promotional video there a few weeks ago.
Christ above. It's not Alan Sugar by any chance, is it?
I actually don't know a second now. I must ask him.
Or Alan?
Mate,
It's not Alan Watts. No.
Alan just kind of roams the
Fucking
bog.
Alan Shearer's bog, is it?
And cheers, bog.
Down
No,
the
but
bog,
you
does
just
it?
go there sometimes and
Fucking
you'd have a
fella
game
named
of soccer.
Alan. All he does is just walk around the bog. If you fucking see him, you ask him, "Oh yeah, can we
You'd
do
see him
this?"
there,
Go on
waving.
there.
Oh, really? He doesn't actually mind you down there filming, does he not?
No, God, no. Jesus Christ. He'll shout at you
Sound out
because
loud.
like he's pissed, but like honest to God.
He'll let you go away.
He'll forget you're there in like 2 or 3 minutes, man, because fucking, I will.
There's nothing worse than the bog. It's a hard old day's work, isn't it?
Oh, it is shit. Fuck me, man.
Everyone lies about how much they can foot or whatever.
Oh,
or
yeah.
how much they've done. Everyone lies about it. So it's like, I'm after doing about an entire acre worth. Last year, me and Annie did that. Like,
exactly. My parents tricked me before when I was younger. They were like, "Geez, you're unreal down the bog." Like they kept telling me how good I was, and that just encouraged me to do more. So I just ended up footing most of the turf in the 90s for our family.
I went down there probably last month, and it was the first time I've footed turf in probably fucking 4 years at least.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, I was dying.
Yeah, it's a shite old job.
I'd be standing up straight and then fucking keeling over just backwards and being like, "Oh, me fucking back."
Yeah. But you know what? It's good. It's at the same time. It's nice. In some ways, it's also nice, pure, honest work. So when you are leaving the bog, you feel like Michael. What's his name? The dancer lad, Michael Flatley.
Yeah,
Michael Flatley, Lord
of the Bog.
we had someone on yesterday.
Who was
Paul Roseberry, sound lad, comedian. And then we were talking about the bog for some reason. And he had no idea what turf was. So we tried to explain what turf was. Like, oh, it's like this dirt full of carbon and we burn it.
Yeah.
And people get super interested that you burn it.
Yeah, he told us, he was like, "Oh yeah, I seen one of you were down in this place and you threw a stick in a lake and told people that if they didn't subscribe, that'd be them." And I was like, "Oh yeah," because me and Thomas over here, we went down the bog and on the bog there's a lake, and there was just an odd piece of turf there, and fucking just picked it up. And Thomas was like, "Do you want to do a video?" And I was like, "Yeah, grand." 30-second video of me pretty much being like, "Oh yeah, if you subscribe, you get a free side of turf, but if you don't, you're going in the fucking lake, man."
That's brilliant. That's a bit of off the cuff marketing, and I love it, guys. I'm going to sign you. But Tim how come your man didn't know about the bog?
It's fucking.
From the States.
He was from the States.
Oh, he's from the States.
He's
From
from LA.
Oh yeah, typical.
Fucking American.
I'm joking. But
foot in the bog.
What was he? Did you talk? Oh, you were talking to him on the podcast here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An Irish lad, Irish American, or?
Oh jeez, no, he was just a comedian from LA. He was
comedian. He was on some MTV show in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Oh, nice.
It was called Yo Mama.
Yeah, Yo Mama. Pretty much what you do is shit talk each other's mas, like.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Yeah. Nick Cave was on it.
Huh.
Mariah Carey's ex. I mean, what? I don't follow the gossip. Actually,
remember,
no.
he was telling us that some lad from that 70s show was running it and he fucking hates him because it was like the last episode or something, and he fucking destroyed this other one, and your man gave
it was the least funny guy he's ever met.
Right, was the lad from the 70s show?
I can't remember what his fucking name was now for the life of me.
It wasn't
I
Ashton
love
Kutcher.
that show growing up.
It wasn't Ashton Kutcher. It was some his name is like Wilbur something, I think.
I think it's the lad with the afro. I think he was in and around the comedy scene a bit. You know that lad that's like playing the hard dude.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I remember the fucking lad now. I'm just hold on now and I find who it fucking is.
I have the cast up here now.
Yeah, just after this, we are fucking never getting this lad on. From the amount of shit he talked yesterday, man.
Every now and then we kind of shit talk someone and we're like, okay, that's off the list.
Yeah, but like most of the time it's just fucking Amy Schumer, man.
Amy Schumer, man.
I have a massive. I do not like Amy Schumer. And if there's ever in a movie, man, I'll turn it off. Like
Wilmer Valderrama, I think it was.
Who?
Wilmer Valderrama or Valderrama.
That yeah, with him.
That's some name.
Wilmer Valderrama. Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I can
see if I find if it was him. I'll go on to the cast for
that 70s show.
Just back to the books. How did you come up with your name? Buzz
McDonald. Would you believe Martin Maloney or Eddie Durkin came up with that name? We were. He just said you're going to be called Buzz, and I was like, can I just be called something similar? I don't know. Do I like Buzz? And he goes, no, trust me. He said if it's just Buzz, people will remember it easier because it's one name. But I wanted to be called Billy, so then we setting on Billy Buzz McDonald, but that everyone would call me Buzz. But he was kind of right because the name Buzz is handy. It's a bit like Beyonce except without the body. But so that's I think that was in Galway. Myself and Eddie Durkin, we lived together in Galway, out there in Ballyban, and I think he came up with the name out there.
And was that how like the rest of the lads came
Name
up with
stuck
the
anyway.
as well?
There's some names there. Like I know Michael Salmon. His second name is actually Salmon.
His first name is Michael, so touche for that one. But then the Boo, we were in Swinford once, and then there was some lad that says, "Oh, there's Tommy Poo," and he goes, "Fuck, don't be calling me that," because I think he thought that the Boo was somebody else. But Eddie Durkin heard from a distance. He thought that the fella said his name was Tommy Boo. So then the Boo, and then Bugenhagen. I think it's some Arnold Schwarzenegger film. That's where that name came from. French Toast. I think he was away in India and he came up with that name, French Toast. The Viper. I don't know where the Viper came up with his name, but I think he probably like the man who plays the Viper. He's always been into like kind of writing and creating characters and stuff like that. So. I'm sure like he probably seen something that was abstract to the Viper character and he said, "Oh, that's a funny nickname to have." And Eddie Durkin, then we were doing a prank in Galway and then some lad said, "Who's this?" And I said, "Eddie Durkin." And then they stuck from there. So I was happy to come up with at least
all
one.
the names I think were perfectly picked.
They were good.
Yeah, no, they're beautiful.
They're so easy to remember.
One that gets me the worst is Stateside.
Stateside,
like,
yeah.
why the hell was that guy called Stateside?
I don't actually know because, and even the name is a bit silly, but then it actually suits him very well. But he was just walking around town one day playing pool and he was wearing space boots. And we said, we have to get that lad into the Hardy books. So then we asked him and it turns out he had the next 3 months free. So he said, "Yes, I will."
What a fucking story, man. Just pulling them off the street.
Exactly. Oh, there was one day though, he wouldn't come out of the car. We were filming. But he said, "No, I'll do all my lines from the front seat of the car." So we had to drive him up to the window of the. We were filming there in town, like down by some shop, but he had to drive up. He was too lazy to walk. Like I don't know. I think the power had gone out of his toes or something.
The lad said that he's actually like that in real life.
Oh
like
yeah.
he actually is that character.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's 100% like that character. Like it just so happens that the camera accidentally caught him on camera. But, that's exactly how he is all the time.
Like some of the moments in the Hardy books, you just fucking wouldn't know if they're real or if they're fucking or if they're like improvised or scripted or what. Because some of it is just pure fucking gold, man.
I suppose it's because we were being real. Because we like a lot of the moments were real and. If you were there with your mates, even if you're acting or playing the character, you're still trying to make them laugh. So it kind of is like a very real conversation you're having anyways. So that's probably why it seemed real, because a lot of it was real.
Now, I mentioned to the lads that I think like one of the funniest moments to me was it was in the first episode. It was hangupsidedown.com.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah, that was...
finished the article.
That's right, yeah. But I was upside down there for a while, and then the scene before that, I was smoking herbal cigarettes, so kind of got a bit dizzy then. Got a bit dizzy, and that was one of the points where I was like, "What the fuck am I doing with my life?" You know, there was no prospect. There was no.
I'm going to see this.
No, there was no talk of a TV series, I think, at the time, or maybe a movie or whatever. It just seemed like we were just always moving at 20 mile up the road. So I remember I'd been hanging upside down for about 3 hours, and I think during the break I had a cup of tea, and I was like, "I gotta just get a job down the fucking shop." Won't be fucking hanging upside down in Centra. Unless, of course, they have some different way of doing their stockrooms. I don't know.
No, I think the best part about it was when they started talking to you with the camera and the camera is upside down and you can fucking tell because you're still in the door frame.
Oh, Christ, yeah. If you have a good look as well, my face looks all swollen, and that's because all the blood that was in my body had then moved to my head. I looked like Joe Rogan. Looked like it was going to burst any minute.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's one class lad, in all fairness.
Oh,
he's got a great brain.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Everyone who starts a podcast nowadays just instantly takes inspiration from Joe Rogan, like.
Yeah,
he's taking over from Jesus.
Yeah, we've Thomas here working as Jamie.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, he has
a character.
He's able to pull shit up there real quick.
Right. So if I shout something to Thomas now, you can put it up.
Probably, yeah.
On there.
Right. I can't think of something off the top of my head now. I'm not sure.
You know, halfway through the show now, when we're
do you know what? Out of fucking nowhere, just say, Thomas, will you pull up whatever, and then fucking
Yeah.
see what happens? See if he gets it right.
Right. Well, if something pops into my head, I'll give you a shout, Thomas. Please be on standby. Yeah.
Jeez, I'm always on standby, man. It's
Thomas,
it's
don't
what I do
fuck
for a
this
living.
up.
You've got the hand hovering over the mouse, going, "Come on, say something."
This is your moment, Thomas. Don't fuck this one up, man.
Jeez, I'll try not to.
Type in what size are Michael Flatley's feet?
Go on, Thomas, do it.
There's probably an answer for that as well. That's the worst part.
I know yeah, exactly. Is it the worst or best part? Because is it any good that I know that Michael Flatley's feet are probably around a size 9?
That's not how you fucking spell it, Thomas.
I don't give a shit, man. Come up with something, man. What the fuck is this? Annual reports of War Department.
He doesn't want anyone knowing.
Flatley, not Flaherty. Fuck me.
What?
Right, Thomas, you're fired. Jesus.
It was nice having me on the podcast, man.
Right, from now on, I fucking control this department.
Anyway. There's obviously like a lot of demand at the moment for people wanting another series, like, or another season, I mean. And the last they were saying like everyone wanted that happen. Do you reckon it actually will?
I always compare us to the Vinga Boys and S Club 7 and those kind of people because they're all coming back. The Spice Girls are coming back. So if Scary Spice and fucking Indoor Soccer Spice can come back, then why can't we?
Yeah.
Why can't we? But there's nobody biting. Like there's nobody landing up to the house with a checkbook. But I think I can't speak for everybody, but I think that we'd all pretty much like to do it again. But at the same time, if it happens, it happens. You know, you don't want to force it either.
Of course.
You want it to just become natural, like. But please, RT, please.
Would you go back to RT to film it, or would you kind of do it by yourselves? Do you think?
The lads call them the crack Nazis.
Well, I mean, like, you know, no, it's like, you know what it's like? It's like anything, really. And I'm not trying to defend them. I'm not trying to say I'm part of the system, folks. But I'm saying this. It's like Ryanair flights. You can give out all you want, but you don't have to get on the flight, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, you can take the boat to England if you want. Or you can... there's no other way to travel. Go for Ryanair. It's cheapest. But what I'm trying to say is they need to build the toilets bigger on Ryanair.
It's what we all want, man.
If you have an applause,
If there's 2 people in there, like...
No, but I'd say we would definitely do it. I'd say, but it's just that it'd be nice if we could meet in the middle a bit more. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the lads mentioned that RT are very controlling about what can and can't be done, like with the episodes.
An awful hard time, so they did.
Yeah.
An awful hard time. They did deserve it. I know, but see, the thing is with RT, they have their own way of doing things, and then they say to you, you know, we this is how we direct stuff normally in our TV shows. But Hardy Books was a very organic show that started up because you're not really meant to do full shows improvised because you eat into time. Then, like, a cameraman has to get paid, the soundman has to get paid. You know, the location fella has to get paid. So these are all on the clock. So the further on you go, the more they have to get paid. So RT, you're thinking as a business, how much money can we save? And they're trying to move from one scene to the next as quickly as they can. But back in the Hardy Books days and the YouTube days, when we were filming a scene, like, we might be filming like one scene that's only meant to be 30 seconds long, but we could be filming for 4 or 5 hours. But it wasn't because we were bad actors. It was because we were just having the crack, and you'd end up talking about, you know, Eddie talk about going to America, and then conversation would go somewhere completely different. But you kind of have to mine for that bit of gold as well, you know. You have to just have a bit of playing around.
Of course, yeah.
Playing around with the ideas, you know, and seeing what comes out, because we were never used to being in front of camera, so it take us a while to sort of warm up into it. It's like, you know, when an uncle or auntie call up to the house and they're a bit like, you kind of look at them and going, who's this? But then after a few hours, then everyone takes their clothes off. And you're like, how come
I wouldn't know anything about that, actually.
But it's just, it took us a while to kind of get relaxed around the cameras mostly. That's something, if we were ever to make it for RT again, it'd be something that would be nice if we got a bit more time when we're filming. But it's hard to know. It's hard to know who might take it up next.
Yeah.
You can always go back to Netflix because they liked your stuff, you know? They're on Netflix now, like, and everything.
That's true, yeah. But
what was a Netflix series?
Netflix exclusive, man.
Netflix exclusive.
Yeah, Netflix
I'd love to do with Netflix. They're the top boys now. They're the ones we have to suckle upon. But I think we didn't really have much say in RT selling the show to Netflix. I don't know about the boys, but I didn't hear anything about it anyways. So, but we were told in an email that Netflix now has Hardy Books for 3 years, but it was already up on there.
Okay.
And it was 3 years they have it for, or so said the producer of Hardy Books anyway. So I think we're coming up around 3 years now. But I remember asking him before. I said, "Is there any chance that Netflix might sponsor us for a series?" But he said they'll only let us know at the very end of the sort of the 3-year lease or 3.5-year lease.
Okay.
You don't want to wait 3.5 years, like.
Right, so
No, you
lads,
don't.
if you're watching, make sure you go and fucking watch Hardy Books on Netflix.
Please,
Them
Gotta
views
support it,
up.
man. Gotta support it.
do it for the community, please.
Exactly, man.
The county.
We were long enough
Fucking
waiting
quality
over the years.
gold.
You could be waiting 2 or 3 years in between a season. So that's kind of why we're all doing our own thing now, because, like it'd be great to do another series, but you kind of can't be waiting on it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of these are actors now, actually.
Professional, yeah.
Or yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, I don't know if you'd
Um,
call it that now, but I'd say Eddie Durkin is probably the most established actor of all of us.
Yeah, he was in Vikings.
He was in Vikings, yeah, exactly. He was in a good bit of it too.
Yeah. And we seen yourself in the Paddy Power ad.
Yes, yeah.
Just in the back there, like, so watching this ad, and suddenly I see a very recognizable face and head. I'm like, go back.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, when I was doing the social media stuff on Facebook and all that stuff, then I got an email from Paddy Power just one evening saying, "Do you want to do a video next week?" And then when I went in there, then they have their own multimedia team. Sure, I got on great with all those boys. They're all the soundest skins you could meet, and just went from there.
Yeah, sure. Like, I think I'd say about a week or two before that ad aired, my brother started working for Paddy Power, and he goes, "Oh yeah, did you see the new ad?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Yeah, we got Owen Colgan," and I was like, "You messing, man?"
No way, Jesus Christ! I don't see it like that, and I'm not trying to like sound daft on them, but I don't see it like that. But that's very nice of him that he even said that. But
Yeah,
I was only in the back standing there in the cold. It was freezing, but
a
Colomini
bit of fucking war paint on you.
Exactly, yeah. I think that was it was freezing that day. I don't know if it was the coldest day of the year, but I think it was around 2 or 3 degrees. But Colomini, in fairness to him, like, he was in good shape, and he had a nice face on him, and he'd pull up in the Merc, and he'd hop out of the backseat of the Merc. Someone would throw a jacket over him, and then he'd come down and he'd do his lines, and he was very professional.
Sure, look, he's Ireland's father.
He's Ireland's forefather, himself and Christy Moore. I always think we're all going to morph into some sort of version of Christy Moore or Colomini when we get older.
Fucking snapper, man. Jesus.
Unbelievable. And he was the first Irishman in space. Star Wars. Oh, that was a shite joke. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it took me a second to understand what he meant.
Yeah, I was thinking.
The way he's holding the guitar in the second one, he looks like he's after making love to that guitar.
He's getting fucking married to it, man.
Do you know one of those baby shoots they do with the father hugging the mother?
It does look exactly like that, man.
Looks like he's spooning the guitar.
He's even holding it like a fucking baby, man.
He is.
Look at the form.
He's a legend, though, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He is.
He's the kind of fella you want down the bog with you. Imagine the foot Christy Moore be doing and singing songs and everything. No wonder he'd be unreal. He'd have it all.
10 acres.
He'd dying.
2 days.
He'd fill 2 mansions. What was that saying you had?
No idea.
Did you have a saying about the 2 mansions? You'd get 2 mansions on the bog with that or something.
Yeah, for tenor.
For tenor.
Yes.
I like you
obviously,
guys.
like, huh?
I just said I like you guys.
Aw.
We like you too.
Oh, you're a legend.
No, like, I'm
But
hiding it. I'm hiding it pretty well, but I'm a fucking huge fucking Hardy Books fan.
Who's this talking now?
I told Jared,
Jared, man. Jared
Jared,
fucking
oh, yeah,
never
Jared.
shuts up about
handsome
you.
lad in grey.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
No, sure. First time I seen it, I was telling literally anyone who listened to me, man, you ever seen Hardy Books? I'm like, saying like it was the funniest shit I'd ever seen. And it was so relatable to like the place we're from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's the
Small
reality
town,
for
I
most
suppose, yeah.
people outside of Dublin.
It is. It's very close to country life because we're all sort of country boys, and there's a few townies thrown in there. It's a nice mix, and even I think in the suburb, like the places like Blanchardstown and Swords and places like that in Dublin, they all seem to get it too because they kind of have similar characters up there in Dublin too in the suburbs, I suppose you'd call them.
Yeah.
But in the city centre, maybe not. Like maybe not the. I don't know how to describe it, but definitely there's plenty of places in Dublin that seem to get it. Like as I said, Swords. I used to live out there in Swords, and them boys seem to enjoy it. And
Yeah.
and then Mayo, I suppose, yeah, and then Offaly and Donegal, yeah. So there's plenty of towns like that, people around there like that, Donegal and County Kerry and Cavan and
I think
Oh,
it's
sure. Look,
Loud.
you have Fair City up there in the fucking in the city centre.
yeah.
It's a great
That
show
show's
for
still
anyone
going.
great show for anyone who thinks that Ireland is only Dublin, and it's like, oh geez, it's not only Dublin. Check this out. This is what the rest of us are like.
Yeah.
The fair majority of us.
Yeah, this is what everyone's going through.
Do you have any craving to move to Dublin, or are you happy enough where you are?
No, I used to, but no.
No, not really. To be
I'm
honest.
craving moving to Galway now for college.
Well, what are you going to study in there?
Marine biology.
Oh, nice. Very nice. What's your passion?
Fish.
That's fucking
Fish.
it, man. Too
Massive.
right.
What's the last thing you're thinking of before you hit the fucking hay?
Fucking fish fingers.
They get a fish.
No, I fucking since I was small, like I've loved going anywhere to do with the ocean, like and fucking seeing, going into aquariums and books, like reading books up on it and stuff like that.
Nice. I like
And,
it.
yeah, just said I'd follow it. Like
Did you ever go do a bit of scuba diving?
no, but I was over in Australia there from November to February, and I did a bit of snorkeling with what was it, sand tigers,
I know them
sand
well.
tiger sharks, and it was
Sand
fucking class.
tigers.
Sand tigers, man, sand tiger shark.
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
but
gang
they're-
from Sligo. You bumped into the sand tigers.
No, but fucking
Yeah,
like,
it's a good one. It's a good one to get into because you're hanging out with loads of fish and it's connecting you to the earth, Mother Nature, and all that shit.
exactly, yeah. Because I was like, when you're out in the open sea, you're like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah,
This was
There's
in
no
this
phone
was in
gonna
an
save him
aquarium.
here.
yeah.
It was
No
like
getting
a-
an Uber out here.
Exactly. It's just you and nature, nothing else, and it's just
Oh, exactly.
you got to drop the ego, let it all go, and connect with your chakras.
Even even when I got into the water, it's like a 3 million liter tank, and I think there was 3 or 4 sand tiger sharks in it, and then there was a few smaller sharks as well. And as soon as you see one of them, like fucking 6 feet below you, you're instantly right. You instantly feel, oh yeah, I'm no longer the biggest thing here.
Yeah, would they go for you?
No, the sand tigers, they're fucking, their teeth are like they're kind of hooked in towards their mouth,
Yeah.
like towards the throat. So what they'll do is they'll bite a fish and then swallow it whole.
Greedy
And
fuckers.
yeah, exactly. So, but their mouth is only small, like, and
Right.
so like what other sharks say, like a great white shark, they'd take a curious bite of like someone's leg or something to see if they'd actually like it first. But
That's
it's not
confidence.
really possible with the other ones. So
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. There's dolphins out this way, but I haven't seen them yet. But if you had to ask me what I'd like to see more, a dolphin or a shark, definitely be a shark.
yeah, man, fucking, you have Fungi the dolphin here, but you don't have Fungi the fucking shark.
Exactly. Yeah, we need to maybe get that industry going. Get a shark that's sort of jacked up on something.
Megalodon in
throw a bit
Dublin
of creatine
Aquarium.
into the water, man.
Creatine shark. That could be Joe Rogan's latest adventure, like a movie or something like that. Where he
Creatine
plays
shark.
the
and
he
Joe
plays the
Rogan
mind
comes
of
in.
a shark.
That actually reminds me of my favorite episode, Hardy Bugs. Christmas special, and it's like the turkey's like, oh, I've been feeding him creatine for 6 months.
Christ above.
Oh,
Poor turkey had a
Oh,
hard old time with
such a
too.
good-
Best actor in the group.
where did you even get the turkey?
Oh, there was some. To be honest, there was some lad that turned up on the set, and we didn't know who he was. So someone said, "Who are you?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm the man looking after the turkey." And he was like, "What do you mean?" Like he goes, "That's my job. He looks after turkeys." So I thought, Jesus, there's a job for everyone, because he just goes around Mayo looking after people's turkeys, and then he let people touch them and look at them and everything like that.
What the
I don't fucking know. He seemed to be making a few pounds because he was driving around in
Only
a
in
Jeep.
Ireland.
Oh, in Ireland,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
but,
he come around on set talking to all the ladies, just being like, "Do you want to touch the turkey?"
you want to come back to the house, see the other turkey? Gobble, gobble, Jack.
It's fucking massive. Have a look.
Quick in the last 6
Jeez,
months.
you've never seen fucking giblets on a turkey like this.
It'll feed a family of 6, it will.
Fine bit of meat behind the back there.
Yeah, so some of the shite you guys did in Hardy Bucks, I'll never forget. I'll actually never forget it. You know, you watch a
Please
show and
don't.
like you won't remember it, but no, some of that you'll never forget.
Yeah, there's definitely some memorable lines in there because, sure, it's funny to say this. Like, it's funny to say certain lines to your friends or jokes you'd have, and then if you just, if you make them a bit more open to everybody, then you can have a good quotable line.
Now, with a quotable line here, I have one exactly because my brother sent me a fucking meme there the other day. It's like a TikTok, and it's roses are red, I'm mad to go on the beer. And then it's from the episode, where you're in you're trying to catch the rats.
Yes.
And you end up eating
You're sleeping in a coffin.
It's like, yeah, it's just like, roses are red, I'm mad to go on the beer. It's like, where the fuck are you? It's like, will you shut up? There's someone trying to sleep in here.
Oh Christ, that is fairly funny actually. Now I must admit it.
He's just like, where the fuck are you? And he'd rise up out of the coffin. Will you shut up?
Christ,
There's a man trying to sleep in here.
Oh Christ! I tell you one thing though, when I watch back the Hardy Books, it's like every other character I enjoy watching, but I still don't really like watching myself because I think the other boys were similar enough to that too.
But
Yeah,
they
they
said
said
that
that.
now. They said they haven't watched themselves on Netflix because they can't bring themselves to watch themselves. Say it's fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them
Peter
used to like it.
said
I
give
like
it a few
Eddie or
years.
Boo. What's that?
French toast said give it a few years before he watches it.
Yeah, I think I'd be about the same. Yeah, but maybe giving it 10 years might be the way to go. Come back in 10 years.
Yeah. I was just wondering, like you obviously did the show and then you did the film after that. I was just wondering how different was it like between filming the show and filming the actual movie?
Filming the movie, it was definitely more like the YouTube days because it was a smaller crew because there was we had a high-ace van and we had 2 camper vans and we were going from Swinford to Poland, so we couldn't bring that much of a crew, so there wasn't any RT director or anybody from Universal watching us what we're doing, so it was more like a holiday that we happened to be recording along the way as well, but it was definitely a lot more free. It was almost to the point where it was too loose. Because some days, like, we might be filming a scene at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then maybe 2 of us might be missing because we'd be out in Poznan or something. Like, it was the middle of the bloody European Championships of the World Cup, so everyone was steamed in Poznan. Everybody seemed to be in party mode. Like, you can imagine, like, you know when you're on the beer and then it's like 2 or 3 in the morning and you're like, fuck, this night's going to finish soon. Well, this was I'd say this is about 3 weeks of Irish people just with camp set up, having barbecues and swimming and talking to the locals and everything you can imagine people were getting up to. And there was Polish bodybuilders on horses and
Jesus
sexy Polish police officers, and they'd all kick the shit into you. And you were constantly getting turned on over there. Sorry, lads, I've gone too far again.
No, you haven't.
No, it's okay.
No. With you can keep going and going and going.
Christ. Sometimes I think I go too far. I'm a 36-year-old man just talking shite. But I love you guys.
Same goes. Like, you're actually great crack in all fairness.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
Actually, but we always knew, man, you'd be great crack to have on the show because, like, when French Toast told us, like, you could no man could write for you. You're like, you're exactly like you are on the show. Like, it's amazing.
Well, that's very nice of French Toast to say, and the same back to him. Seven French Toast. I was just telling my missus there the other day. I've got a girlfriend, boys. But I was just joking. But I was just telling French Toast there the other day telling somebody about French Toast there the other day that we used to play centre midfield together for Swinford. My job was to do the tackling. His job was to do the class passing. And from the sounds of it, we were brilliant, but I think we might have got relegated. We won. I think we won 3 games on the hop, and like the people in Mayo started talking about us. They were like, "Geez, the 2 boys are good," but it was just pure adrenaline we were going on.
Fucking mad.
Pure madness.
You don't support Swinford, do you?
Oh yeah, big into Swinford. Swinford United.
That's fucking. Oh, you're a Celts man.
All right. We'll actually edit that part out for the first time ever.
I thought you were a Celts man. You're always wearing the shirt.
No, I'm Behola Space Cadets. They're my first team, and then Swinford, and then Mayo, and then Celtic, and then Man United, and then Europe, and then the 5 continents, and then it's all me and the planet against everybody else.
He's going leagues above everyone else now.
Oh yeah, you're just all you have to do is ask Elon Musk. It's going there. It's going that way. What do you make of the 2 boys in space?
Jesus, yeah, good on them, like.
What? Once they just went up?
They're doing laps in space.
Oh, fucking mad, man.
Good on them, like. I mean,
We're there now.
Elon Musk, man, he's actually a legend, like. Honest to God. Like.
He is in all fairness.
It's fucking Tony Stark.
Honest to God.
Only the tiger.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I could see him getting us to the moon. Or not the moon, fucking Mars in the next 10 years.
Be late for getting us there to the moon.
It's going to happen in this generation, right?
Which is fucking deadly, like.
But
Can you imagine the day it's on the headlines or even fucking on the news live that someone's touched down on Mars?
Yeah, I know. And then all the firsts after that, like, who's going to be the first couple to bonk on the moon? Like, is it going to be in our lifetime the first fella in a leather jacket walking around the moon smoking a rollie? Like, because I know that sounds mental, but that's probably going to happen.
No, honest to God.
I mean, you couldn't say it won't happen.
Exactly, because you just don't know. It could be a planet dedicated solely to Sligo boys.
That's just Sligo the planets.
We'll just call miles away of lads in a Honda Civic just doing laps of the planet.
Just paint half of it fucking green, paint half of it red. Just call it Schligok.
Schligok, yeah. And but yeah, something to look forward to. But sure, that'll get to a point then where we'll conquer all these planets, and it'll turn out there'll be a load more planets that we didn't know about, and then back to square one then again.
Oh yeah, be another race to them one again.
Oh, stop.
I always find it funny to think about, like, in a couple, say, just 1,000 years now, you know, when people are still alive, like, you know, it's going to be mad to think, like, oh, yeah, geez, they were only going to Mars now. We fucking live on, like, other planets, you know?
Yeah, that's for sure.
It'd be a bit weird to think about, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Do you think countries will be fighting for planets?
I don't know if it'll be countries, but it'll be like super tribes. Like Jeff Bezos, he'll own like planets, and he'll have a team of robots behind him, and then Mark Zuckerberg will have the same sort of setup, and then we'll have to all just like sort of go to Joe Rogan's planet.
I don't want to be anywhere near fucking Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook planet, man.
Exactly. Oh yeah, where he's kind of hoarded all this information about people, and he's created one massive robot, which has got one weakness.
There's not one human on the planet. There'll be fucking him, the reptilian, and then all the fucking all the robots.
Exactly. Yeah.
All the lizard people.
Good bastards is what they are.
Snaky they are.
With people going to or countries taking the planets, there's a thing called space law. It's actually a thing. No country can lay claim to a celestial body. So
they can't claim a planet, pretty much.
Only way a country could happen to appear on, like, say, Mars is if they became independent from Earth.
Say it again.
That's mad to think about.
I'm not saying that again.
You apparently there's a law that you can't claim planets.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No countries can.
Yeah, the only way a country could is if they became independent from Earth.
Right. Okay. Well, I suppose, yeah, that they say that now, but then 15 years down the line, should they say the same about the bogs? But they took the bogs away from us.
Fucking Russia owning half of the bogs now. God damn it.
No, I don't. I wonder has any Russian man ever been down the bog? Probably not. But
And
It's
you
hard
never
to know
know.
which
They're
way to
fucking
go, boys.
crazy.
Huh?
They're mental. You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know with the Russian boys. But I'll tell you another thing. This virtual reality might nip all that in the bud. You might not even need to go to space.
Honestly,
You can
God.
do it from your own box room.
Yeah. Have you ever tried virtual reality?
I did, but I tried a very bad version of it, and it was kind of like being really close to a computer that had shit graphics.
Yeah.
Was it one of the smartphone ones, was it?
No, it was. I went to some lad's house, and he'd been talking about it for weeks, and he said, "You have to come over to the house and see this. It's unbelievable." He said, "You can even stay the night." He was that excited. He was putting a bed up for me.
Sleepover.
Sleepover. I thought he wanted to fucking bum me. Yeah, we got there anyways, and we were playing the game, and just I don't know if I had it plugged in wrong or whatever, but I didn't think it was great. I had to wear gloves and everything like that, and he put this mask on me and then covered me in baby oil. But I know, but that last bit didn't happen. But the rest pretty much did. And I was playing a game where it was a driving game, I think, but you could get out of the car and walk around a city. But it was really, really bad. It was like, did you ever play that game Doom?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. You know, the kind of graphics were that bad.
Yeah, where it's like half 3D, half 2D.
Exactly, yeah. And I just took it off and I said, no, do you know what? I'm not even going to bother staying the night. I'm heading home. We haven't talked since.
But
Haven't talked since.
That man, Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
No, but I don't know. Have you ever played any of those virtual realities?
No.
Yeah, one lad we had on secondhand radio. I've tried his headset and holy shit.
Good stuff.
It's expensive. It was an expensive one he got. He spent 400, 500 quid in it.
Jeez.
And it was worth more, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you kind of forget that you're inside of the thing, like.
That's good, yeah. And I can only imagine it's going to be in 5 years' time as well. It's going to be mental.
Oh yeah, it'll be fucking mental by then, yeah.
What he can do with it now is he can get a wire and he connects it to his like computer, like his PC, and so the PC takes all, or you can play any game on the PC in VR, like.
Fuck my pink hairs. That's brilliant.
I think, the closest I've done to it is, I've had one of the ones where you toss your smartphone into it and you can just look at videos and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen those ones too.
And look around. But, I think it's way different if you had one that you plug in your computer and then you have the controllers and you can see your hands and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd say the top people have those ones.
Oh, yeah.
Probably designed already. I think I've seen a few videos online, but or like anything, I like to let those things settle for a while and then get stuck in. But
yeah.
It'd be nice to be able to throw on a head mask and go to space, I suppose, or go to
hop into a different place, like
exactly
different profession. Like I there a few weeks ago out of virtual pub. Exactly. There out of sheer boredom there a few weeks ago, I bought a fucking it was like a joystick and a throttle for like flying games.
Right.
And I was just thinking, if you had a fucking VR headset with this, you would be fucking mental.
Oh, I can imagine.
Flying a fighter jet around the place, like.
That's on a PC, is it?
It was on PlayStation.
Oh, it's PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
What computer do you recommend I should get? Because it seems like everyone's streaming online nowadays, and I must get onto that world.
Jeez,
you can get pre-built ones, or you can build one yourself. Right. And then there's different websites where you can pick the parts for it.
For PlayStation?
No, for the PC.
Okay, right. But you can stream off PlayStation and Xbox and all that shit, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
You can stream gameplay off them, yeah.
Right. Okay. But can you stream yourself playing the games?
You can buy a camera,
like a webcam.
Webcam job, yeah. Okay, I must get onto that. That seems to be. Is that the way everyone's going, or am I getting things mixed up?
People usually use.
No,
PCs.
you'd be right.
Yeah, no, people use PlayStation though. People like big. Yeah, there's one guy now he's really big, and he used PlayStation.
Did it recently.
Martin and the Viper, they do their streams all the time, but they're too. See, I see there's so many different kinds of streams online. Like the Viper, he kind of, he green screens himself into the game, but Eddie Durkin doesn't do that. He kind of just keeps it. You can kind of see his background, so I don't know much about it, but I must give Eddie a call and see how he does that setup.
Yeah, I don't.
What's your plan? Huh?
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, what's the plan with the podcast? What do you?
Well, we started it in quarantine, so obviously we can't really meet up and do it, but there was talks now of like when we get out of this, trying to sort out a place where we could all do it in the one room.
Oh yeah.
Upgrading our kit, soundproofing the place, stuff like that.
Would you get the place bulletproof?
I don't know if
yeah,
I'd get
we
it
would,
bulletproof
yeah.
because we.
Well, it depends, man. Are you
if
gonna
you're
come and
doing
shoot
that
it
out
up?
here in
Yeah.
the bog, like it's only going to cost like an extra $5. Get it in Dublin and take
bulletproof
arm and a leg, like.
throw glue some turf to the walls, man. Instantly bulletproof.
Oh, that definitely would do the job. But I'd say it'd be a lot cheaper to rent a place there in Offaly. Would it be like a little room or?
Yeah, but
even
yeah.
something like that, yeah.
Like, I think, well, I know two of us have kind of like sheds out the back, and like just with a bit of fucking cleaning up in them, and throw a table in there, laptop, few
Handy job.
few microphones. You'd be
Fucking
sorted.
radiator, man.
Fucking radiator, yeah, and space heater.
Fucking need it.
You'd be sorted, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so far so good, and we're continuing. Like we're gonna try and continue to go with the daily podcast as long as we can push it.
I will do it.
And
As long as there's one person able to do it.
Yeah. There's one of you kind of leading is one of you writing the questions, and then the other one is recording it, and then the other one is uploading it.
Oh no! I do all that.
We'll all like shut up, Thomas. Very much like before we have guests, we'll all brainstorm, like with questions and stuff like that, and then we all kind of go
You
out.
hardly want them to get on, and be like, oh.
Yeah, you don't want to get on and then have it be like, well, this is fucking awkward.
How are you going?
You have no idea what to talk about.
Yeah, I gotcha. And it'll take a while, I suppose. You're probably synchronized now that you don't talk over each other, because 37 in a row, you're bound to get into a flow.
Well, yeah, we kind of just wait until we'll wait until someone's done talking so that it's not all over the fucking job, do you know?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
And,
fair play.
Yeah, with the fucking with guests, and, like we'll brainstorm before a thing, and then we'll go out and like usually we'll just go out on our own kind of thing, look for guests. If we find a guest, let the other lads know. Stuff like that, like.
Oh, brilliant! It's the way forward. I think the podcast. I think there's a big industry happening. It's going to happen. Well, it's already happening, I suppose, with the podcast. But it seems like Ireland still is a small bit behind when it comes to podcasts. But now the door is opening up.
Yeah.
What's the biggest one in Ireland? The Two Johnnies.
Two Johnnies, I'd say, or Blind Boy.
There's another podcast as well. It's a conspiracy theories podcast, and it's fairly big now. I've seen
those conspiracy guys.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I've yet to listen to one, but I've heard a lot of people talking good stuff about it, so I must get on it. But you know the way there's so much stuff to listen to nowadays. It's like trying to finish. I was listening to this thing called S-Town. It's called Shit Town. And it's a podcast, but it's like a serial, so there's like 6 or 7 of them, and I've only listened to 2.
Yeah.
So much stuff to get through. There's so much entertainment online now that's hard to.
Yeah, and a lot of the podcasts are very long. Like if you've watched, if you've seen Joe Rogan, they can go up to like 5 or 6 hours. Like.
Yeah.
So, how does he do that?
It's fucking crazy, man.
I don't know, but like I think some people, including myself at times, spend more time looking at Joe Rogan than they would talking to their own father. What does that say about
it's just
society?
he covers so many different things. Like it's not that like
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you'd assume, oh yeah, he's a UFC commentator. All he talks about is UFC. He was on Fear Factor. He talks about that. No, like he talks about everything. He talks about space. He talks about fucking psychedelics. He talks about like history, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and,
in fairness to him, like if you're talking for that long, it's hard to keep a conversation going with anyone. So that's a skill in itself. But I haven't the podcasts are just almost too long to the point where sometimes I just look at them and I'm like, oh, that's too long. I might just skip it. And then sometimes I try to mix it up, trying to get somebody else different in there, just so it's like not Joe Rogan all the time.
Yeah.
I don't watch his full podcast. I watch the clips, and
I'll watch clips, or I'll split up a podcast between a few days, or I'll listen to half of it and then come back to it a few days later.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what I always think is better. I don't know, man.
Joe Rogan doesn't care about us anyways because he's made a cool 100 mil off Spotify.
Ah, Jesus, man.
That's fucking
mad.
Like.
Oh.
Very, very handy.
Very handy.
You wouldn't mind that for the Hardy Bucks podcast, would you?
Right tonight. That'd be nice. That'd be nice to get that kind of money, and you could build a massive underground podcast studio. and just have
I
lads
don't think
come
I
in.
don't think anyone really realized how much money Spotify had until they did that. Because
That-
everyone's like, oh yeah, Spotify.
Yeah.
You know, people listen to Spotify. Artists are on it. Podcasts are on it. It's it's not that. It's pretty big platform, but it wouldn't be up there with like YouTube and stuff like that. And then they're
No.
just like fucking whip out 100 mil out of their pocket. Joe, do you want to come over here? Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
How
definitely.
many
that's like,
jokes?
oh, they're all dealing in that kind of money now. There's no talk of like even hearing about a millionaire. You're like, that doesn't seem like that much money nowadays because all these Premier League footballers and the likes of Hulu and Disney and fucking Netflix spending huge amounts of money on different people. So that Spotify is now part of them boys as well, I think, and they've just super rich companies to be wary of. But also,
Like Bezos and the
if
boys.
they open up the pocket, you kind of, what do you do? Do you say, like, if Spotify came to you now and said, we're going to give you 10 grand each, lads, for this the year, what would you say?
Yeah.
Rest of the year.
Yes.
Well, yeah, at the moment, yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like down the line, it depends, you know.
But what if
'Cause
they
you
said
never-
to you,
when you-
what if they said to you, but also, lads, like, you're going to have to change the name of the podcast, and also you're going to have to get rid of 2E, and also you're going to have to start talking about, just talking about sharks.
No problem, man. I'm a fucking professional.
Thomas, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm the one going into the marine biology course, man. No.
I would buy a shark to make sure that shit happens.
Thomas, I don't think you can buy a shark, especially not for 10 grand.
Jeez,
Get
should
one
they
of
give
TK
me
Maxx.
money when because if they're going to give you two
Yeah,
10
man. The fact you do that for 10 grand. Come on.
jeez, well, I'd bargain with them something, man. I don't know.
You get
feel
more
like-
working for
no.
fucking super value.
If they were to, like, even with the change in the name, I'd be a bit iffy. Because,
What if it
like,
was a million?
Oh, Jesus, man. I'd do it for fucking free. Come on.
No.
changing the name, yes. Just
Ah, yeah.
change one letter and they'd be like, there you
No.
go.
I mean, no, because you wouldn't. Because I think I wouldn't be able to do this podcast without the lads. You know, it's that thing.
No,
like,
I mean, if you were changing the name, you'd do it for $1 million, wouldn't you?
oh no. Well, it's the same thing with you though. Like, would you do a spin-off of Hardy Books if there's that? Oh no, you can only do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, fair enough.
No, I'm just joking. No, I wouldn't. No, because Hardy Books is not my show. It's like it's Eddie Durkin and the Viper. They come up with the idea of the show, so it wouldn't be fair at all for a start. But no, I wouldn't anyways because you'd kind of want to do it with your friends. Obviously, that's the reason why you got into this thing in the first place. But the Joe Rogan situation, it's hard to know. I think most people would probably say yes to that kind of money though, which is probably a sad state of affairs. But
Like, obviously, we don't know the full terms of the contract or whatever, but I feel like the only thing they really did was like, oh, yeah, well, we want your podcast exclusively on Spotify. So that doesn't necessarily mean that he can't post it on YouTube, like.
I think he's only allowed to post the clips on YouTube, but I don't think he's going to be posting stuff on there because if you're spending that much money, I'd say the contract is fairly stiff. I'd say, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he's given us plenty of podcasts over the years anyway, and there's so much entertainment, not even on Spotify, but on YouTube. And sure, you can sign up for Spotify for free for a few weeks, so it's not like we're stuck for listening to people talking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the main thing there with, like, if they were to completely take him off YouTube would be that, a lot of the time the podcasts like they'll bring up pictures and stuff like that, and you'd want to look at them like having the conversation.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if
that's the beauty. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's exclusively on Spotify, like, I think what they'd do is
They'd even have the video.
they just, not even that, they just throw up on Spotify, give it like a week or two, and then maybe upload it on YouTube and cut some of the bits over as kind of like a taster.
Yeah. They probably know each other. The lad that runs Spotify and the lad that owns YouTube. They're probably best friends, and they're like, we'll give it to you for a few years, and then you give me it after a few years, and they're just passing Joe Rogan back and forth in a sort of
one of them in a game of
roller
poker, like.
Exactly. They won Joe Rogan in a game of poker.
You're like, no, he's mine now. Fucking stay away from him.
Stay away from Joe.
He's where the fucking money's at, boys.
And then they're going to bring out a Netflix series called Stay Away from Joe.
Stay away from Joe.
5-part series. Season 2. Stay well clear of Joe.
Would you ever think about doing a podcast yourself?
I do a podcast actually.
Do you?
And yeah.
Didn't know that. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
That was a bad question to ask.
I didn't
No, it's
fucking
all
know
right.
that.
I understand. Because that's the reason why I was talking about Joe there and yourselves quizzing you boys, because it's a tricky old thing to do the podcast and talk for like quite a long time. So I'm doing my own podcast now, but I put up a link there on my Instagram account, but I haven't really pushed it just yet because I just wanted to get it right and I wanted to get the different bits in it right. But it's a work in progress, like everything. And it's, if you want to check it out, it's called Going Deep. That's what it's called for now, Going Deep. And
How long have you been at it?
I've been at it since the lockdown, I'd say. You
Yeah,
probably won't.
I couldn't
it's
find
not-
that anywhere.
It's only on Patreon for now, but like
Oh, okay.
I'm also doing it.
Ah,
I
right.
know.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So you're oh, jeez.
I'm behind the paywall, and I'm so sorry, guys.
Stay
but,
away from Owen then. Jesus Christ. His
Up in the
page.
big leagues. Way.
No, but it's getting transferred over to iTunes. See, I don't know how to do iTunes. I don't know how to put it up on Spotify or Acast. So I've got a lad who's helped me do all that stuff. So it's kind of in transition mode.
Fair
That
enough.
makes sense.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Please come and listen. It's called the it's called sorry. What's it called? Actually, no. It's called the
Colgan
Owen Colgan
Experience.
podcast. Now we've changed it back, I think.
Well, here,
But,
as soon as that's out on
That's gonna be
iTunes,
class.
Spotify,
Listen to.
we'll be straight to it.
Please do, yeah, and I'll send you. I'll probably put up links on my Instagram as well, and
Perfect, man.
please do check it out. I'm curious as to what that middle video is. There you have up there on the screen. Going deep in Owen
Owen
Colgan.
Colgan, Zuckerberg, and the boys can piss off or something anyway.
Well, that's a bit weird. We were just talking about Zuckerberg and the Facebook planet.
I know.
Jeez, man,
he
fucking
popped up.
Google, man.
Fucking
Fucking
listening, man.
to you the whole time.
Oh, I love how it's on Facebook.
Yeah. is it, I don't think it's gonna load. Oh, it is.
I don't think
Zuckerberg and
we
boys
can
piss
even watch
off a
it,
few
can we?
days. Going to Sligo with the woman for 2 days. Piss up. Good luck. Sure, man. Who the fuck is going to take you down the video? Owen.
That's me a few years ago on the
There's the
cruise ship.
man himself with the
if
fucking
anybody do
UFC
know
hat.
copyright
Right.
fucking issues, man, the only guy who'd be copywriting us is this lad.
Oh, yeah, I've seen even there when we were looked up the pictures earlier. I seen you were wearing the UFC hat. You follow much UFC at all?
I do. I followed it a fair bit. Well, I don't really follow it as much as I used to, but I used to be mad into it back in the day where, Pride in Japan.
Yeah.
It was like the raw version of UFC, but I followed it back in the day, and then I followed it the last few years, and I do check it out. I like to watch Francis Ngannou fight in some of the heavyweights
Oh,
because
Jesus, yeah.
Oh,
Remember,
powerful
his
lad.
most
Watch his
recent
last
fight.
Yeah, fucking me. He's.
They're just basic gladiators. They're mad.
Just
and
absolute
that most
animals,
recent
and they're only
fight that
getting
we
better.
watched, the three of us watched the fight together, like the most recent one, 249, was it?
Yeah, 249.
And fucking hell, man, it was like they were hitting each other with bricks.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop.
Fucking
Francis
mental.
Ngannou came from Cameroon. He was homeless, I think, in all the countries across Africa on the way up to Spain or France, and then he slept outside the gym in France in Paris, and then he ended up getting signed up for some Paris gym, and he wanted to become a boxer, but then they were like, "Nah, you're too big, and you can make funny. Sorry, not you're too big. You can make money quicker if you get into MMA because it was like a quicker turnaround." And that's when he got into MMA. But like he only started boxing, I think, when he was 19.
Jesus.
That is fucking mental.
Fucking size of him.
Yeah, no, he's
He's
fucking
fucking
scary,
massive,
man. Jesus Christ.
Same shit. himself.
What do you think about big man Dana White buying a fucking island in Abu Dhabi?
I think. Is that where he bought the island? I think.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it came
It
out
is,
recently.
yeah,
He bought
yeah.
in Abu Dhabi.
It's like anything Ryanair or anything like that. If you're not into it, you don't have to watch it. But I think the UFC has been fairly entertaining over the years. There's been a lot of great characters on there, and Dana White, he's just another actor in the play, I suppose. And he's funny to watch because he's always giving out, and he's got really muscular arms as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm always curious as to his body shape because not only is he an angry manager of a company, but he's also a fairly big dude, and you're kind of like, is he dodgy or is he sound?
Yeah. I think it's fucking mental that he specifically bought the island to host international fights during this whole bullshit going on. Like,
Yeah,
he's just like, yeah, I'll
That's
fork
mental.
out a few million on a fucking island. Here, go on, fight.
the Lord save us. Anyone that can afford an island has probably got too much money.
Yeah, Jesus,
Man,
yeah.
the last person that I heard of who could afford the island before him was Pablo Escobar. So,
Fuck me.
I
Pablo
don't
Escobar,
know.
yeah. He had a few pounds in the back pocket.
He
Oh,
fucking
Jesus,
did.
man. Enough to buy a can of
What was-
Coke, anyway. I tell you that.
What was it? The 10th richest man ever,
Jesus Christ.
wasn't
Jesus.
he?
Yeah, and that's probably the money he disclosed as well. He probably has like loads of money shoved
Oh,
in
yeah,
a
he
mattress underneath Colombian
So, somewhere
bogland.
in Colombia, yeah.
I'm watching
Colombia.
Narcos right now, man, and Jesus, they used to bury the money. Like,
Right.
Yeah, man. There's fucking loads of money that still hasn't been found and no one knows where it is.
I'd well believe it, yeah. Didn't he? Sure, he was on the run with his daughter before, and the only way to keep her warm throughout the night was he burned 3 million quid in cash, apparently.
fuck me, man.
That's crazy.
Fuck me. Just as long, like, imagine you'd landed up that day in the car like a Toyota fucking Starlet, and you're like, hop in the back, Pablo, throw the money in the back as well, and then you brought him to a motel, but you kept the money. Your life could have changed.
Oh yeah, God, honest to God.
Yeah.
I think if you go to Colombia and start digging in some random patch of dirt, man, you'd probably find a couple million in cash.
Yeah,
They find
man.
it, yeah.
Probably fucking
Big time,
would.
yeah. Go around to one of those metal detector jobs.
I'd say at this point though that they have the serial numbers of all of it. So if you
Yeah.
did find it and tried to use it,
True.
they'd fucking know straight
Flag
away.
or something.
Apparently, you can go to his grave in Colombia, and someone was telling me that there's like a non-official tourist tour of his grave, and they'll bring you on a little tour of the pubs he used to go to, and then they'll do a line of cocaine off his grave.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, be fuck's sake, it'd be.
Fucking
You've
mental.
done it 3 times now, so like, you know.
The lad's doing laps.
It's fucking mental, like. But yeah. He's a mad old fella himself.
Aye.
It was mental, yeah. We know you were in the Hardy Books and you were in the Paddy Power ad. Have you been in anything else since? Besides your TV show?
Let me think now. No, not really. No.
Even as an extra or anything?
I did a few kind of short movie things with a couple of lads there in Dublin, and different people that would have asked me to be in different things. So I did a few movies around Dublin, like short ones. But so I go through phases of thinking, oh, I really want to be an actor now, and I want to be taken seriously as an actor. And then other times I'm just like, Ara, I may as well do what's true to me and be kind of play like a kind of silly character, I suppose, whatever. But
Have the crack with us.
exactly, having the crack. So I kind of go between the two, but I would like eventually down the line to get into the acting game. But it seems like it's a young man's game, and it's all top boys in their 20s who are fresh off the grill that people seem to want to watch, you know. So like I'm trying to think of an actor.
Stallone, like
Stallone,
he's nearly 74 and he's jacked.
Yeah, but that's the bloody steroid that he's injecting up his arse. He's but no, I would. Jeez, I mean, if I could have, I'd love to do something. I'd love to do something, even though Hollywood is dodgy. I would love to make a Hollywood movie that's kind of like semi-tongue in
Go to
cheek.
Bollywood.
I would do Bollywood. I do Nollywood, and I'd do where else is there? Sollywood, which is
Fucking
Swinford.
Dollywood, man. Dublin.
Dollywood. Sollywood, exactly. Yeah. But no, I would. If there was movies on the go, I probably would. I'd like to at least audition for them. But
Oh, yeah.
you got to make a show reel and all that stuff. Anytime I apply for an acting job, they're like, "Can you send me your show reel?" And then I send them a show reel, and it's just me talking about jam buns or in the Hardy Bucks, talking about fighting, drinking, smoking, and
Fucking jam.
yeah, I probably need to shoot a show reel first.
Hmm.
Well, I do acting as well, like, but I don't have one, so it's just kind of like the ones you can show up to, and then their performances are a lot better. Like,
How do you mean?
Like if you show up for an audition and then do it there, it's much better than online, like sending in a video.
Yeah. What kind of stuff
Yeah.
have you been going for?
I was in Normal People, but I was only an extra for that one.
Oh, nice. Where was that shot?
Oh, it
Shall I
was
go?
shot in. Shall I go? TU in Dublin. We did one near there.
Oh, very good. Did you
Uh,
enjoy it?
it was great crack. We did loads of pub scenes. I was in every sesh.
Oh, lovely.
He's
You
in
had to
every
drink-
set except you can't see him fucking at all, man. Apparently, you can see
Oh,
the back of
Thomas
his head in
seen
one
me.
shot.
I saw the back of his head in the scene, and Jesus,
In
man, it was
one
like
fucking
seeing
shot, man. One shot.
friends with a celebrity, like, you know.
I watched this entire show, right? Before it got fucking
Fair City
huge
as
and
well.
became this big Irish phenomenon. I watched it just looking for Jared.
Yeah.
Christ, did I know there was going to be that amount of fucking shagging in it, man. Oh my God. The Lord. I was going to watch it with my ma, and then I fucking, like, I'd say about 20 minutes into the first episode, I was like, well, thank fuck for that.
Christ.
Oh my God. I would have been mortified.
Was it the longest scene the BBC ever put out? Was it 4.5 minutes?
It was the longest
4.5
sex scene in
minute sex scene, yeah.
Irish
Yeah, on our
TV history.
Yeah.
4.5 minutes.
You know what though? The way, cause see, back in the 90s, when there was a sex scene on TV, that's all you got. That's all the bit of action you'd ever get. So you'd have to make use of it. You know, you'd have a 4 minute. It'd be like drive-by wanks. You know, because you'd only have 3 or 4 minutes. But nowadays, when someone says there's a nude scene like in Game of Thrones or anything like that, it's kind of it's not really that. It wouldn't get me turned on anyways, because I'd be thinking there's so much more filth online. And I get to choose exactly what it is. You know. Because if it's normal people, I have to.
Thrones, you're just like, oh, someone's about to get their fucking head cut off anyway. So
exactly, yeah. So like, you don't want to see that mid wank.
We were talking to French Toast and Cowboy. What did they say? They said we were talking about normal people, and they said, "What was it? We're making a parody show called Wanky People."
Right.
Yeah. It's like just the sex scenes, or he said, with the main actor there, he looks like he's always ready to laugh.
Fella that was wearing the GA shorts. Paul.
Yeah.
Paul Mescal, yeah, he does look like a bit of an old jokester now. To be honest.
Did you know that Gucci were selling a similar spin-off of his GA shorts for £495? Gucci.
You're fucking messing.
Fucking man. Gucci, man.
Fucking go to the gas store, man.
Yeah, but like back in the day when people were wearing those shorts, I used to wear those shorts the whole time playing football, and nobody ever came and looking for me because they're dodgy shorts, and I don't know if you've ever wore a pair of GA shorts, but it's very loose in there, and anything could happen.
GAA shorts. If you lived in the country, you probably wore GAA shorts every time it was hot.
Yeah, I did exactly.
Because you had no other pair of shorts.
That was only shorts we had back in the day. It was just GAA shorts, one pair between the whole family, you know. So there'd be a lot of.
The worst part was you had to fit them all into it, like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you and the three brothers fucking wearing the GAA shorts at the one time.
Oh, stop! Yeah, no, Billy's talking
about. Pick up the fucking ball. The ball's in the middle of us. Are you serious? Shocking.
Paul, so. Well, that's life in the bog, like. That's life in the country. Outside Dublin, you'd never see a pair of gas shorts in Dublin.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in Dublin and see someone wearing gas shorts. Maybe like a Dublin jersey, but not shorts.
No, I see, because in the city you have to be busy. You have to be walking around, nipping in and out of doorways and down alleyways and stuff like that. So you have to wear a more lengthy pair of pants, like a tracksuit pair of pants, which are tight around the ankle, because you don't want to be stepping in piss, but you also you don't want anyone standing on your pants, and you want to be nippy. So tracksuit pants and jeans are the pants of choice in the city.
Of course.
Now,
what's your favorite spot in the city?
My favorite spot in the city. I suppose it either could be Phoenix Park or else Fibbers. You know Fibbers?
Fibbers,
Never
no.
heard of Fibbers.
Oh, it's on Parnell Street. It's like a rock bar there on Parnell Street, but it's got 3 or 4 floors to it. And
Parnell Street Dragons.
Parnell Street Dragons, exactly, yeah. It's the best pub in Dublin, because it's just, you can go in there at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, and no one gives you a funny look, because it's just the lighting on the place. It's nicely set up, and it's kind of like a place for misfits. No, it's like a place for people that just want to relax and not be in around music that's too loud, or you know, when you go to a pub and it's full of mirrors and it's full of shiny corners and stuff like that. Fibbers is the opposite of that.
Bit dim.
Nice and dim, so you don't have to look at the guilt in every other man's eyes.
Why aren't you with your wife, you bastard?
That's not your wife.
Oh, who's this new young one, huh?
I can barely see. Will you turn on the lights, Joe? No lights on in here. This is the pub for secrets.
fucking.
Turn the lights on when the fucking sun comes up, pal.
Exactly. And even then, keep the curtains pulled.
Like as much shit as the city gets, like there are some really good spots.
Oh, Dublin, in fairness to Dublin, there's some brilliant pubs there. And the thing about Dublin as well is that you'll be in some pubs there and, it could be only a Thursday or a Wednesday, but there could be a good old crowd in there. So, you'd have the gither on you to kind of stay out good and late.
Yeah.
Has to
And
be done.
there's places you get up in Dublin that you just fucking wouldn't get anywhere else in the country, or like you would get something similar, but not near as big or as like bold, I suppose.
True, like there's a bit for everyone. Like, if you're up in Dublin and you're looking for the hop, and depending on what kind of hop you're looking for, you might go to Coppers, or if you're looking for a different kind of hop, a bit more of an exotic hop, you might go to Dicey's.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a spot for fucking everyone.
Exactly, there's a spot for everyone. That's the beauty of it.
It's the same with Road because there's how many? There's 3 pubs in Road. So if you're
fucking 3 pubs, man. One of the pubs is for the old lads. One of the pubs is for like middle age, and one of the pubs is for people who are underage and trying to get served.
Christ, so it's like a trajectory towards the final boss.
Exactly.
Wait, they've only 2 shops and they've 3 pubs.
Jesus Christ.
2 shops, 3 pubs, a pharmacy, a chippers, a Chinese,
and church,
and a doctor's. And that's about it.
Irish, if you look at it this way, what else do you need?
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything
As long
else
as
you're
you
asking
got the
too much,
doctors there after the pub, or the fucking even the Chinese after the pub, you're grand.
Exactly, yeah.
That's sad though, because the nearest 24-hour garage is like a 10-minute drive.
What would you be buying in there?
Fucking everything, man. Just go in there, like you come out of a pub in town or come out of a club in town. You just go up there. You're like, oh man, dying for a big dirty packet of schnacks.
I can tell a lot by a man. The first thing he purchases or the first thing he looks at in a 24-hour garage. So what's the
Probably,
first thing
like, do you know the big share bags of table snacks?
Gotcha. Yeah, you're looking for a quick fix.
Looking for something that'll keep me full until I get home into my bed and fucking conk out.
Yeah, but you ever find the next day then you're a bit ratty because your sugar levels are all over the gaff.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking starting on the dog. Get away from me,
Dogs fucking moan to go out in the morning like, oh, would you fuck up, man?
Go piss in the hall. I'll be out in fucking 3 hours.
Come on, man, just give me
Is a
5.
man trying to sleep in here?
I tend to thank.
Trying to sleep in here.
Oh. Anyway, we're gonna have to end the episode, but no, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks so much for having me on, guys. Lovely to chat to you, anyways.
Jeez, man, it was lovely chatting to you, man. Thanks so much, man.
Come down to Swinford anytime. You're more than welcome. And give us a shout if you come down. We might catch you on a Friday or Saturday. We might have a couple of pints.
Oh,
or else
Yeah, bad idea.
sounds like a fucking
Doesn't have to be all
perfect evening.
God bless that. Please wash the hands, lads. Please.
Oh yeah, wash the hands. Hit that subscribe button. Go check out Owen. Check out his fucking Instagram.
Yeah, we'll link everything
It's
below.
everything. We'll link everything.
Please check it out, guys. Please. Just whatever you do, please.
Come on. Do yourself
If
a
you gotten this
favor.
far, you have to do it. In all fairness, now.
Yeah, it's not for me. It's not for me, guys. But just please.
We don't care if
I'm
your
doing it for the
grand's
Instagram
dying, man.
algorithms.
Go watch the damn video. We
Do
don't
it for
care if you're
county.
on fire, man.
Do it for
Oh,
county, lads. Do it for the village.
county.
If it's not for me, do it for bloody Bezos.
Listen, you fucking if you go check him out, it'll be a fucking great day for the parish.
Oh, jeez,
Please.
it would.
Will
That's
everyone?
exactly it.
I get the priest to give you an out shout out during mass.
Yeah. Right.
And if you don't, we'll get him to shout you out on the fucking deceased page, man. You
Oh
fucking talk.
Jesus!
Game
In the
over.
obituaries, man.
We call it the game over page here, Mayo.
Oh Jesus!
It just says game over. Top
Game
page, I know. Does not know because sure, look at we could be all reincarnated, lads.
You could.
You never know, like.
We'll never
Next
know.
level.
I'll see you soon, boys. Anyway,
Anyway,
Right.
take
Oh,
it handy,
man.
lads.
Come on,
And,
take it.
sound
Good
for
luck.
watching.
Good luck to you.
good luck.